We have completely open phones in the final hour coming up. We're going to take some calls during this hour. Sean, Tim, David, Chris, Carl, and others that are patiently holding. Red Beckman joins us during a heavy news day. I haven't even gotten into what's happening in Greece in detail, how that's part of the global banking takeover, how the U.S., England, and others are also in line to be brought down by this financial tyranny. I also want to get into this call by Republicans and Democrats and to just let the government and the FBI say you can't own guns and come confiscate your guns without even you committing a crime and not let you buy guns. Federal government's got bills to do it. Bloomberg's calling for it. They also have another bill that we just covered earlier where they will secretly arrest U.S. citizens under the Pentagon, secretly strip you of your citizenship. They're allowed to torture you. It says enhanced interrogation. That's their new Orwellian term, and take you overseas. I mean, this is as bad as Hitler or the Soviets or anything we've ever seen. If there's any doubt these guys are hardcore tyrants, and if this is focused on the American people, those doubts are out the window. Now, Red Beckman co-wrote the law that never was, traveling around the country proving that the amendment to give us the income tax was never ratified properly in many states, and it was a fraud. He's also the father of the Fully Informed Jury Association that's really had a huge effect, teaching juries that they're in command, not the judge. They judge the facts as well as the law. And then, of course, he also is an author. And I wanted to get him on a host of issues, and he's no spring chicken, as he says. He's been somewhat, in the hospital lately, off and on. But he's here with us today, and it's always great to have Red Beckman with us. But out of the gates, Red, I wanted to bring this up to you because I just ended the last hour with it. WorldNet Daily, next step, no guns allowed for right-wing extremists. Bill empowers Attorney General to forbid firearms for those suspected dangerous. No judge, no jury. Lieberman says no U.S. citizenship rights for terrorists. You just get stripped, no judge, no jury, and you disappear. And I just covered before that the bill S3081, which is as Judge Napolitano said, just only an act of Congress can get you out of the secret prisons if they even know you were there. I mean, is this not the ultimate tyranny? This is the worst scenario that we could have. I mean, this is absolutely preposterous, and I think that they're peddling a lot of fear, but I think it's going to backfire on them. I think that with all the Tea Parties and all the others, and of course, one of the things that's really making their world a little bit shaky is that Oath Keepers. They're going out and getting police and FBI and military people to more or less sign this. It's like a contract almost that they will not do the kind of things that the military and such, the politicians, are going to want. As far as terrorizing the people and taking their guns and all of that. I think that there is such a desperation on the part of that small nucleus of tyrants. They are outnumbered by such a large percentage. They're outnumbered big time. And so I think that, I just think they're running scared. And I think that's why we're hearing all this. They want to know if their threats are going to have the kind of an effect that they would like. But it isn't going to work. Red, stay there. Let's go over the Bill of Rights and Constitution and talk about what articles this violates. Just where the executive branch and the Pentagon can arrest any citizens they want, ban you from owning guns, torture you, take you away. I mean, this is the right of kings they're giving themselves, and they really are coming out in the open. Red Beckman's our guest. Stay with us. America has been the open, free society because we've had a Bill of Rights and Constitution, and we've been very open to foreigners. We're a nation of immigrants. But now the federal government with liberation theology has brought in tens of millions of illegals, predominantly from Mexico, and filled them full of a hate of America. firebombing, burning things down, stabbing people, killing people in the last 2 weeks. Only in the local newspapers, a national news blackout, pulling American flags down. And then in San Francisco, kids wearing Old Navy shirts that have American flags on them, they're told, that's racist, that's bad, take them down. And NBC says, is this bad? Should this be banned? Imagine, that's how crazy it's gotten. And, oh, you're against government health care, you're a racist. Oh, you're for sovereignty, you're a racist. Oh, they beat you over the head with this while they're invoking race, while they're creating this division. And then all these immigrant populations here now think if they see an American flag, it means you hate them. This is the government involved in divide and conquer. And now we have senators and congressmen and the bills introduced. I mean, I've had Judge Andrew Napolitano on concurring with what this bill says. I'm not just saying it allows them to secretly arrest you, torture you, the Pentagon strips you secretly of your citizenship, fly you overseas to a death camp. They call them ghost sites, black sites. This is in the news. Lieberman's out there saying, if we think you're involved in terrorism, you don't deserve to be a citizen. We're going to strip you of your citizen rights. What did Emmanuel say? You're not an American. You're not part of this culture. You lose your rights. And they're saying now, if we believe you're an extremist or hold extremist views, which means being a Ron Paul supporter, we've gotten their internal manuals, you will not be allowed to own guns. And we're going to come take them from your home. No judge, no jury, no indictment, no charges, no nothing. And you're not going to be able to buy guns. That is the essence. That is Hitler. That is Stalin. That is Mao. When you see politicians do that, they are criminals. They are enemies of the country. And I'm going to get Red Beckman, one of the granddaddies of the modern Patriot movements, take on this in just a moment and to expand on the Constitution and how this legislation is illegal. But before I do that, here is a newscast from NBC going, did you really wear an American flag? Oh my gosh, you had an American foe. Oh, we might have to strip you of your rights. This is so dirty. Meanwhile, you got all the illegals running around. La Raza, Metcha, our race everything, your race nothing. The federal government, oh, they burned some buildings down. Good job. Because they want to play these groups off as political weapons against America. So the fight is on. Here's this video clip.
Daniel Galley says he's proud to be an American and shows it by the shirts and the shorts he wears. But on Cinco de Mayo at Live Oak High School in Morgan Hill, his patriotic clothes got him into trouble.
They said we could wear it on any other day, but today is sensitive to Mexican Americans because it's supposed to be their holiday, so we weren't allowed to wear it today.
Galley and four of his friends who were wearing similar red, white, and blue colors found themselves in the principal's office.
They said if we tried to go back to class with our shirts not taken off, they said it was defiance and we'd get suspended.
They say they had no choice but to leave school and go home.
Okay.
They're angry they were not allowed to express their American
And that's
pride.
enough. And can't have an American shoe either. Can't have, red, white, and blue? You don't hoist those in America anymore. Now, here's the deal. Hate speech, hate crime. The Soviets unified their giant empire, like 3 times the size of the U.S. or bigger, by playing different groups off against each other. And that's how it was in the Soviet Union. It took them decades to get it that bad, where they would play groups off against each other and ban things like this. But again, they are invoking this, and this is mind control. Now you can't even have the American flag. Red Beckman, your take on this.
Well, I'm absolutely convinced that, like I said earlier, they're in a panic. The tyrants are in a panic. Now, this morning's paper here said that the Washington Post has put the paper that the magazine, Weekly Newsweek, they put that up for sale because they're losing their subscribers. And, of course, the NBC, ABC, all those, and, of course, how many newspapers have we had go bankrupt and shut down? And how many of them are in financial trouble because they're spewing out this garbage, and the American people aren't buying. And, of course, you see there is some politicians saying that they've got to shut down the Internet. Well, that's not going to happen. I've got news for them.
That was in the New York Times. Today they're calling for shutting down the freedom on the web.
Yeah, they're talking about it, and of course what they're doing is pointing the finger at themselves as being the outlaws. They're afraid of free speech. You see, that's not American. That's communists and that's Nazis and the whole bad mix. And so the American people are waking up at a rapid rate. And these Tea Parties, they're all more or less autonomous. They're not all under one, you might say, top-heavy head, and like the NRA. The NRA is top-heavy, and everybody knows it. And I think that what we're seeing is a desperation on the part of the scoundrels. I got that list, and you have too, the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center.